Simplifying Surds with adamonlinetutoring. Here are the beginner questions, some of the easiest types of questions that you're likely to find on this topic. Surds are expressions with irrational square roots in them. Irrational numbers are ones that you can't write as fractions. To simplify expressions containing surds, the aim is to make the number under the root as small as possible or get rid of the root completely. To do this, split the number up into two factors, one of which should be a square number. It may be appropriate to list the factors of the number: 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. From our list of factors, we have 4 as a square number, and its cofactor is 3. Therefore, using the rule, the square root of AB is equal to the square root of A times the square root of B. We can split root 12 into root 4 multiplied by root 3. It helps if you can put the one that's a square number first on the left hand side. You then just take the square root of this number to simplify, and it should leave us with a whole number. The square root of 4 is 2, and we're multiplying by root 3. Rules of surds are very similar to rules of algebraic expressions. If you were multiplying 2 by x, you would just write this as 2 lots of x without the multiplication sign in between. This is the same as surds, so we'd leave our answer as 2 root 3. For the next question, we need to simplify root 72, listing or thinking of the factors of 72. This time, notice how your list of factors contains more than one square number that can be used. Using any of these square numbers other than the largest one would simplify the surd, but not simplify it fully. The easiest thing to compare it to would be having the fraction 4/8 being asked to simplify and leaving your answer as 2 over 4. Yes, it has been simplified, but it hasn't been simplified fully. Or we simplified by taking factors of 2, whereas if we had taken bigger factors of 4, we would have ended up with a half and would have simplified this fully. This is the same with surds. You'll lose marks if you don't simplify fully. Therefore, we should always be using the largest square number from the list of factors. So in this case, we can split root 72 into root 36, and I'm going to leave the multiplication sign out and just write down root 2 next to it. Now I know that the square root of 36 is 6, and this will leave us with 6 lots of root 2. For the last one, root 48 is quite a tricky one, and the reason is because when you list the factors, lots of people miss off 3 times 16 because you don't often learn your 3 times table up to the 16th number, and 16 is actually a square number. So therefore we should be splitting root 48 into root 16 multiplied by root 3, and root 16 is 4 lots of the root 3 that we had left over on the right. Here are the intermediate questions with a slight increase in difficulty. First, before simplifying, you may be required to multiply or divide two surds, combining them into a single surd, before you use some of the rules like the questions before. So in the same way that we used the rule root AB is the same as root A multiplied by root B, this can be used to split a surd up into its factors with square roots, but it can also be used to combine them also. So root 20 multiplied by root 10 can be combined to give us a single square root of 200. Then we can apply the same rules as the questions before. The largest square number that goes into 200 is 100, and we would need to multiply root 100 by root 2 to give us root 200. I know root 100 is 10, and this would leave us with 10 lots of root 2. Root 4 can be multiplied to give us root 16, and this is a special case where I know what the root of 16 is straight away. It gives me a whole number, which is 4. We can use this as a rule. If you multiply a square root by itself, the result is just the number that's underneath the square root. So we don't need to write down root 16 and then write down what the whole number is. I can just see that I'm timesing root 4 by itself, which means the answer would be 4. For the last question, we're simplifying 2 lots of root 300. We have the introduction of a multiple of a whole number, We can worry about this later on in the question, and first just focus on simplifying root 300. So root 300 has a largest factor of a square number of 100, and this would need to be multiplied by root 3 to give us root 300. Now don't forget that this surd is actually being multiplied by a whole number, which is 2. So I'm going to put it in brackets and leave a 2 on the outside. Now this would be the same as 2 lots of 10 root 3, and 2 lots of 10 root 3 would be 20 lots of root 3. On to the advanced questions. These are some of the trickiest types of questions that you're likely to find on this topic. So root 2 to the power of 4 would be starting with root 2, multiplying it by itself, and then itself again, so it appeared a number of 4 times. We said that multiplying a square root by itself just became the number underneath the square root. We could do the same with this pair that we have on the right hand side, and when they're written next to each other, that means that we're multiplying. So the final answer would just be 2 times 2, which is 4. For the second question, we have 5 lots of root 3 multiplied by 4 lots of root 3. Technically, this is the same as 5 multiplied by root 3 multiplied by 4 multiplied by root 3. So it wouldn't make any difference if we were to write the calculation as 5 multiplied by 4 multiplied by root 3 multiplied by root 3. 5 times 4 is 20, and root 3 times root 3 is 3. Multiplying these together would give me 20 times 3, which is 60. Applying the same logic to the last question, this would be the same as multiplying the whole numbers together. Root 2 multiplied by root 6. 2 times 3 is 6, multiplied by root 2 times root 6, which is root 12. Now we can't leave our answer as 6 root 12 because root 12 is not a simplified surd. So leaving 6 outside the bracket, we'll need to simplify root 12, which we did earlier as one of the questions in the beginner section, to get root 4 root 3, leaving us with 2 lots of root 3. We can then leave our final answer as 12 lots of root 3. Before you go, take a look at the solution which I've provided for a question. I've made some mistakes. See if you can pause the video, spot what they are, and either tell me or write some corrections in the comments below.
Thanks for watching. If you found that video useful, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment. If you're struggling with maths or finding topics difficult, you can subscribe and turn on notifications to receive regular updates about new video tutorials. Don't forget to visit my website adamonlinetutoring.com for a full searchable list of all topics with exams, questions and solutions. You can also visit me on social media using the handle @AdamMathsTutor on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook and Twitter. All links in the description below.